Greetings, cyberspace, which is what I'm using now instead of Twitchland, because, you know, somebody might be watching it on YouTube later. And welcome back to the holiday episode of Kobold Kindergarten. Yes, it's February, so sue me. And I think, yeah, I probably do not want to let myself forget that everybody should go around and introduce themselves. So, suck you hi. So let's see. Bori, you are actually the first one listed on going left to right, so why don't you go first?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Thulgrin. Well, my internet name is Thulgrin. I'll be playing Bori Karthag, the complete idiot healer.
Yes. Bori, so much dumped int that every time he thinks I have to take a point of psychic damage from him. Next I have Lulu and then Punchy, so since Lulu is kind of a character but kind of not a full-fledged character, I will let you guys fight over which one of you goes next.
Punch can go.
Hello, Punchy the Tall Folk, level 3 monk, Way of the Halfling Fist, and this is Jerry. You can find my channel at twitch.tv/mock.
Mockduck. You cut off there at the end. So that's
Okay,
twitch.tv slash
Mockduck.
mockduck. A mock and a duck.
Yep, I think that should be everything. Like I say, I am a level 3 halfling monk. He tries to be a very good martial art.
And then we have, well, there again, I will let Hugo and Lottie fight over who goes next. Because I don't really know how Lulu counts.
I'll go when Lottie goes.
Okay. Well, in that case, Hugo.
Greetings, Comic Relief coming at you from inside whatever viewing device you happen to be watching. I am playing Hugo Kilroy, who is a human bard, level 3 currently.
And Lottie.
I'm Lottie, a well-made sorcerer. She's a bit weird. She's a gnome.
Bit.
And yeah, she's a little bit disturbed. And she has her best friend with her, who is Lulu the cockroach.
And Lulu is dressed for tobogganing today. She changes hats a lot.
She changes hats a lot, but she's staying with the toboggan this week because we're still like in a similar situation that we were last week.
Yep, and I will describe that in just a sec. Last but not least, Catamus, who is going to type. And because Thulgrin doesn't is Thulgrin's reading of Catamus is not always popular with Catamus. I'll read it for you. Catamus is played by Lord Silverhand, playing Catamus the Foxling Fighter with the surname Thulgrin will undoubtedly mock, especially now that I've given him this opportunity, and his lovely mount Nectarine the Cowardly Sheepdog. Is your last name still Tatami? That's what it's listed as, but I know you had talked about maybe change. Okay, Catamus Tatami. So when last we left our intrepid adventurers, they had made their way. Hello, don't lock up on me now, Fantasy Grounds. Well, I'm trying. Oh, I see what's going on. Hey. Yeah. To this horribly drawn tower. Got a little entrance hall here. They had walked inside. They had seen a bunch of gorillas. Big, scary looking gorillas. Oops. Wrong press. And the gorillas, they had kind of followed the gorillas in. The gorillas had fled up into the upper reaches of the tower. Oh, do you want to see the horribly drawn tower? I was mostly sharing it for the people at home, but sure, you can see it.
Yeah.
The tower basically has only these very tiny little windows. I don't know if you can really see them all that well. I'll zoom in a bit.
Is it me or does
Teeny.
the gorilla really look like Eddie Munster?
Does look a little bit like Eddie Munster.
Before I drew the fur on it, it looked like somebody had scalped a really angry clown. So I'll have to tweet the picture of him before I put the fur. I may not have the picture of him before I put the fur on him, but yeah, it looked pretty scary. So the gorilla, I'm not sure exactly how many levels are in this tower, and that's not quite the same map as I have. It's going to be close enough. Anyway, you're in the tower. As I recall, you beat up some zombies and skeletons, and that's where we left off, correct?
Yeah, we have not gone up the stairs as far as I recall.
That is correct.
Okay. Let me make sure I get all this map in here because it's got a logo on it, and I would like to get it. This is a thing that is on. In fact, Thulgrin, I think you are the one who originally told us about this dungeon channel Discord, and they have this little bot that you can just type in and say, "Hey, make me a dungeon," and they do. And this is sort of cut and pasted a bit from there, but so let's see. I'm going to throw you all on there with the combat tracker in the order in which you appear here. And feel free to just, I'm just kind of throwing you on every which way. Feel free to adjust yourselves however.
I think you need to share the map.
Oh, that would help, wouldn't it? So, you're now...
Almost all levels?
Basically, all the levels look exactly the same. Almost all of the levels look exactly the same. So I'm just going to keep using this map. So I'm guessing you guys have just come up the steps, so I'm going to like put you all over here. So you are now on the second level of the map. And suddenly, Bori, who has been channeling his god, Porcus, who is the one who sent them,
deity would be a more appropriate word. Considering,
yeah,
you know.
Bori worships Porcus. I'm wondering if this would be. I think I'm going to save the portrait of Porcus for later. But yeah, you are going to see Porcus. So they'd actually. Bori is receiving psychic messages from Porcus. It's hashtag Braze Porcus.
So that's what the problem is.
And Porcus has you know guided Bori, and he has in turn passed that information on to the party to reach this tower. And now Porcus, I can't remember how I did Porcus's voice. Describe him again for me, Thulgrin.
It was the Orson Welles from Animaniacs.
And okay, that yeah, I have actually never. Don't hate. I have never actually seen Animaniacs that I know of, let alone the Orson Welles episode. Whoa! So all of a sudden, Bori's head starts doing that weird sound again. Oh, stop with your gasp. Bori! God, save them all. Save them. They took them.
Save the balls.
Save them all. They took
Save them all.
Save them all.
Would you take Bori?
Well, no, Bori didn't take it. Somebody took something from Porcus, and he's telling Bori to save them.
Oh, okay.
So meanwhile, these scary gorillas have, you're guessing they're somewhere above you because you saw them go up, and there is really no, if they went back down, they would have passed you. But you do smell, it's kind of faint, but it's bad. Hashtag save the balls. I'm getting distracted by Twitch chat. You do smell coming up from below.
I think that's about a different subject, then.
I think it is. You do
the
kind
balls
of
smell bad. That's the only partial sentence that's come through in my head.
Welcome to Kobold Kindergarten, where we
And we're doing else.
we braise our deities, and balls smell really bad. You do smell something bad that seems to be coming from below you.
Below us.
Below you.
Not up the tower, but down the tower.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess we're going downstairs.
Oh man, well, we just climbed upstairs.
No, I mean, this smell, it's to the point where it's making you ill. Even you, Bori, which is very unusual. The smell is making you nauseous.
How does Lulu feel about it?
Lulu doesn't like it either.
Ooh.
It smells like something you do not want to be anywhere near. I mean, I was kind of planning for you to keep going up. If you want to go down, you can.
Yeah.
but
I
but
just said, let's get away from it.
and you can hear some footsteps that sound like they're getting further from you. Some like really heavy footsteps that probably belong to the gorillas, but they seem to be going up further.
Oh, let's follow the gorillas. It would be bananas if we didn't follow the gorillas.
Ha. Okay, so Abracadabra, you are now on the 3rd level of the tower. Same as the 2nd level.
Bori is still confused as to what bananas have to do with anything.
And let's see. And as you step in here, I was going to enable masking, but it's not that big of a room.
Magically, we arrive at the 3rd floor.
And suddenly, you realize you're not alone. There are skeletons here. Roll for initiative, please.
At least they're skeletons and not slimes.
Don't give me any ideas.
Oops. I didn't mean to. Just one. I guess the 6.
Okay. Oops, I didn't set this guy visible, did I? Yep, there are 3 of them. You see 3 skeletons. And why does Bori have poison resist?
Why does Bori have what?
Dwarfing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's dwarven poison resistance.
Okay, cool. Catamus?
I figured out how to code it! Thanks, Jennifer Murdoch!
Coding everywhere.
I'm gonna move them a little closer so nobody has to actually like wait to attack them. So you know they're all within range because this room is actually a little bit bigger than you can actually move in one turn. Okay, Catamus, you are up. Catamus is going to stabbity skeleton number either 2 or 3. He's touching both of them. That did sound better in my head. That is a hit on skeleton number 3 with a crit. Ooh, skeleton number 3 is heavily damaged. I actually have some other stuff on my... Catamus, you do believe you get another hit? Yep, that is also a hit with the stabbity. And skeleton number 3... Wow, well that didn't last long. Skeleton number 3 is gone. When I think about you, I touch a skelly. Oh, okay, I just saw crit and was not reading closely, so that was not a crit, but it was close. Okay, next up is Bori. And for those of you watching at home, these other things you see on the combat tracker that the party can't see, they'll come into play.
Oh, that's not ominous.
It actually isn't.
Dun dun dun.
Alright, being all dumb he is, he's gonna rush up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares right in between the 2 skeletons.
Oh god, he's
And-
going to turn them and
Don't
they're going to
turn,
run.
don't
Well, at least they're in an enclosed
No.
area here. For those of you who have
Yeah,
not
no, he's
previously
he's
watched
not gonna
Kobold
turn it.
Kindergarten,
No.
Bori once tried to turn, what were they, ghouls?
I thought they were
Zombies?
skeletons.
Were they skeletons?
In the forest.
They were,
Oh,
yeah.
they were zombies.
I think they were zombies.
They were some form of undead, and I forgot that Turn undead in pen and paper does not work the same as turn undead in DDO. So in pen and paper, and then therefore in this fantasy grounds that we're playing here, it just makes the undead flee, and they were in an open area. So yeah, they were chasing undead around for a while. But
Yep.
you've got a nice enclosed room here, so you could
No,
turn
he's
them.
going to sit there and take his war hammer and smash skeleton number 1,
Smash all the
or attempt
things!
to.
Bori pulls out his warhammer and waves it above his head. His pork hammer, yes. Bori's hammer is actually a pork hammer. And he brings it crashing down through midair. And the skeletons just kind of look at him like, dude, seriously?
And I know the pork hammers are playing in Waterdeep. This is a hammer.
I did not get the. I got art done, but I did not put anything into tokens. But that ham, you will be seeing that. That's all I'm saying.
The celestial hammer? I thought you did that last week.
No,
Or
the
last
ham.
session.
I didn't get tokens done.
Oh, okay.
I did so. I also didn't do the celestial hammer, so and I completely forgot about that actually. So Bori, do you have anything else?
I do not.
It is skeleton number 2's turn. And skeleton number 2 grabs his short sword. And I think he's going to swing it at Catamus. You killed my friend. That's going to hit. And he does 3 points of damage. Bringing up Hugo.
Alrighty, I will advance. And then I will attack skeleton number 1 with my short sword.
That is a hit. I think it doesn't actually say hit, but I mean that's a 20. It should be,
I
right?
didn't. Yeah, I didn't drop it on top of him, so.
I don't know if hang on. There. Now you did. So now you can roll damage. Oh, you already did.
I did.
6 damage. So skeleton number, that was number 2. So number 1.
And then as my bonus action, I
Bonus
will
action,
attack him
yeah.
with my dagger.
Hack, hack, hack. That is also a hit. Oh, and skeleton number 1. He's standing, but he's starting to look like he's got osteoporosis because his bones are not in good shape. And that wasn't bad for just popping into my head. Okay. And Hugo, is that what you've got? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Lottie.
Well, of course she's gonna set something on fire.
Burn it with fire! Oh, Bori. Well,
Not me.
that is a hit. Firebolt at skeleton number 1.
Hooray! Burn, cursed bone thing.
Burn, Boney, burn! Disco Inferno! Burn, Boney, burn! And skeleton number 1. His powdery bones catch on fire and turn to dust. And he crumbles.
Funny you should mention Disco Infernos.
Lottie, anything else up your fiery sleeve?
That is all I got. Is on my sleeves is the fire.
Yes, the skelly has been cremated. And it is up to Punchy to take care of skeleton number 2, who actually so far is not damaged at all.
Well, I can hopefully take care of that. Unfortunately, I came up with something here that I'm not quite sure that is correct. I don't appear to have any of my key used, but have we rested since the last time we were...
I had... Oh, did you? Oh,
I
oops.
don't think
Well,
so, right?
oh,
No,
I did not think you did.
Did rest this at the end, but
For
Okay,
some
we did
reason you...
before entering. Okay.
Okay, in that case, remind
we
me
did
after...
before entering the tower.
Right, but not after fighting the zombies and skeletons. Whatever the heck I threw at you last time.
All right, well, you know what? I'm just going to assume that I'm out of key. And I'm just going to do a double attack, move up, and punch.
Punchity punchity. That's a crit.
Natural
That is
20.
nice. That's going to leave a mark. And skeleton number 2 has taken a pretty good hit. You can see some cracks showing up on his bones. And Punchy swings another fist, and it just passes right through the ribs without actually touching a single bone.
So here's the thing about that, though, that was actually deliberate. You know, with that 20, I punched a hole through his chest, and then I took my other fist and I punched through the exact same hole.
Are you going to Rikio the skeleton?
Yeah.
Okay, Lulu is going to go. Skellies. I'm guessing that's what Lulu's doing.
She's just ducking and weaving, because she has no combat abilities.
Yeah, but I put her. She's on the combat tracker.
She cheers for the team.
I mean, like, if you ever wanted to put Nectarine on the combat tracker or make a little icon, I would be okay with that. Or if anybody else wanted a pet. So that brings up Catamus once again.
Go on, take the cockroach and run.
And Catamus goes, stabbity. Unfortunately, the hole that Punchy made in the skeleton's chest is so big that Catamus's short sword passed right through it. That time, he actually makes it. That is a hit. And that takes care of skeleton number 2.
And in true Bori fashion, I didn't do a dang thing.
And actually, I just need to check something here. Because it is so much easier if I just tell you how much XP. Let's see, that's 150 XP total, 50 per skelly, so everybody gets... Wow, I just drew a blank. 5 of you, 30, so everybody gets 30. Yep.
And we loot what's left?
Oh, yeah. Let's...
Lymph gravy quivers.
I mean, they've got some kind of beat up short swords, and you've already got quivers. They really don't have much on them.
Alright, I'll take a second short sword.
Why is this not letting me type? There we go.
Okay, I've got 1570 for XP. Is that correct?
Same.
If you've all got it, then I'm thinking it's right.
Okay, next level is 2700.
That's why I was sitting there going, I think Catamus is being a little sarcastic there. Just a small amount of sarcasm.
Oh, actually, I'm showing 1600 for the next level. Not 27.
I don't think that's right.
We get 300, 900, 1600.
No. 1600 is the amount of XP you need to get at level 3 to make level 4. It's 0, 300, 900, 2700, 6500. So when you get to level 2, you get 1600. And then you become like 900 plus 1600.
Then how are you guys all level 3 if you haven't hit 1600 yet?
You only needed 900 for level 3.
Oh, right. So then you need 1600.
3 is 900. Yeah.
So then you need 1600 for level 4?
Well, actually 1800.
You need
if I math.
2700 total.
Total is 2700, yeah.
Oh, so 1600 additional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, let me just fix that on everybody. Oops.
So it should be.
Oh, or you could just fix it on yourselves.
Yeah, we should be at 1570 with the next level of 2700.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I absolutely would let you play Lulu as a sidekick if you wanted to.
I feel like a cockroach, given her full potential, would be overpowered.
I mean, she can send messages.
That's true. I mean, she does have abilities, just not combat abilities.
And
Like
if
a
you
mute.
level Lulu up to I think 14, she could cast Bigby's cockroach hand.
Maybe if we get to be a level where there's something that would be appropriate for her role as cockroach diplomat.
Well,
Big
I
piece antenna.
think there are the playtest materials on Wizards of the Coast website, and I think you get a choice of 3. One is like a fighter, one is like a sorcerer, and one's like a roguish type thing. So, I was kind of thinking maybe Lulu could be like a little roguish type thing, and maybe like learn how to pick locks.
I would be
Arcane
okay with that
trickster.
because
She's a cockroach diplomat, so I have her as the bard, but she really only does like she has a mage hand, so that's her main skill. She can twiddle things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she'd go with a arcane
Bori,
trickster. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead and say Bori has like resist poison. Lulu should have resist nuclear fallout.
this is true.
So
Where's
maybe
the
radiant
effects?
damage. Oops, I closed Lulu. What the hell?
Resist, yes.
Resist, yes.
Okay, so there's nothing more that we see on this particular floor except some stairs up, I'm assuming.
Yep. And meanwhile, the smell from the bottom is definitely getting stronger.
Tori sniffs himself. Don't blame me for that one.
And yes, it's getting bad. It's still the smell is coming from below you, but it is getting stronger. And so are you going up?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so you're all back here. We're up a level in the dungeon, and here you all are at the top of the steps again. And you see a few like dried up pieces of pineapple and some cloves scattered around. Hey, Groovy, thanks for being here. And the smell is it's still below you, but it is getting stronger.
Do we see anything on the floor, or is it? I mean, other than the pineapple and the cloves, are they just strewn about?
You see an odd lump of pink stuff that looks like it may have been kind of gooey at one point, but has now dried and hardened.
Gooey. Ugh.
It may look oddly familiar to some of you.
Does it look strangely like a ham?
The pink stuff does not.
No, I'm thinking this
However,
looks strangely like those pink monkey balls.
now we're talking.
Pink monkey balls are made of ham.
No. I shouldn't tell you that. I should make you find out. But, I mean, I guess some of them could be, because they don't necessarily all have to be the same. But the ones that you are going to be most concerned with are not made of ham.
Okay, well, I will approach. Rory will approach one of the things. I'm assuming, let's say it's here, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't make tokens, so is there a
I have
button?
to read Silver's comment out here. It says, Bori, don't lick the pink monkey ball. So, you know with a comment like that, you know what immediately has to happen.
You're gonna lick. Well, remember, it's not a ball anymore. It's kind of
Gelatinous and...
yeah. It's kind of like hardened. It's like it's dried out. Like it's been there a while. Like it was like sort of gooey at some point, but now it's kind of like hardened and gluey. And
the slice of pizza you left in the back of the fridge for like way too long, and you pull it out and you can use it to chip diamonds.
I mean, it's not moldy or anything like that. It's just like really, really hard. And it looks like it must have been sticky because it does. I mean, you could pry it up from the floor if you really wanted to. I will give you a gimme. You have no reason to. I'm just throwing this in as kind of a hint. Uh, you could, but it's fairly hard and it's stuck to the floor, but not so tightly. You could pry it up if you really wanted to.
Well,
Most of
I
you probably
still
don't. Bori may want to eat it. I can tell you it will not hurt him in any way. Although
I have
he might actually enjoy it, but
yeah,
most of
I
you
have a
wouldn't.
large number of iron spikes, 40 iron spikes in my inventory apparently from the explorer's kit. Bori would like to drive an iron spike into the once ball thing sticky.
It splits apart and sort of is shatters into a couple little hardened pieces of pink goo that have a faint stickiness about them.
Is there a sudden increase in the stench in the room?
No. The stench is not. The
Okay.
stench is still. It's definitely coming from below you.
I think we have discovered that the hard balls are not the stinky part.
Although, if you lean very, very close to it, you can sort of pick up just a very faint, sort of pleasant, fruity, maybe even raspberry type smell to it. Just very, very like it might have smelled like fruit at one point.
So it may have one point been a snowball?
It may have, or it may not have. Wait a minute, snowballs don't smell like fruit. Or are you talking about some kind of food that I don't know about?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had the pink snowballs, I think, ever, so I was just taking a leap.
Oh, like those hostess
Okay,
things
since
on
I
Yeah, the
didn't
the
even.
hostess snowballs. Yeah,
Oh,
I
those.
don't, I don't know,
It
but
well, since I didn't know what you were talking
That or
about,
snosberry.
I don't know what one of those are either.
snozzberries smell like snozzberries.
they probably taste like diabetes and sadness, and I'm sure they smell
And they
much the
smell
same.
like that too.
So
Yeah.
Diabetes. I mean, sorry, we were into Wilford Brimley
uh,
memes on Twitter not long ago. So yeah, Bori.
sorry, hostess, don't sue me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not going to hurt you. I kind of gave away that it's not a snowball by the fact that I didn't know what the heck you were talking about when you said it's a snowball. So, uh, you can hear the footsteps no longer seem to be going up, but they do seem to be still somewhat above you. And meanwhile,
Who?
the stench. Okay, Hugo, I'm thinking Constitution check or something, along those, whatever. Because if you're going to smell that more strongly, you definitely need to constipation check. Constitution or fortitude save or something like that. Whatever. Because if you're going to stick your head down the steps and get a better whiff of that,
You want a con check or a con save?
whichever one you would prefer, and I'm going to need at least a 15. If you don't make 15, you're going to take 1d6 worth of damage. Roll a d6.
Wow, that's a lot.
Ouch.
That smell is really, really, really bad. And
Would you
also,
roll a d6?
oh, would I roll? Yeah, I guess I would. I will roll a d6. Oh.
I don't want to deprive you of damaging me, so.
Man, what did I do? Get Drax dice? So Hugo has a point of damage from smelling the aroma coming up from down below. It's bad. I mean, it's bad enough to make Bori nauseous. I don't know how. Bori feels nauseous smelling this.
But do I see?
Wow.
You do not. So it's apparently at least 2 floors, whatever it is at least two floors below you. And by the way, for every floor you get closer to it, I'm tacking another d6 onto that.
I think we should maybe go that way. And
I cannot see which way that way is. Up?
yeah, he doesn't. That's where he was pointing, but yeah, just that way. It's easier.
The non-stinky way.
Don't ask Bori directions.
Up the stairs.
Let us go.
Okay, you reach the next floor. And honestly, I've lost track of how many floors that is.
We were. It
Four?
was either the fourth or fifth.
The
We were on the
non-
third.
We're on the non-stinky floor.
We're on the security level.
I think we're on 4. Because we're on, I think we're on, was it the second floor when we fought the skellies?
Fought the skellies on third.
So,
Went up.
So the ball was on 4. Well, if the skellies were on 3, the ball was on 4, so now we're on 5.
There we go.
That sounds
Who's on
good.
first?
No, who's on second? What's on first? Or something like that. You are heading up away from the... You're now on a level higher than you were before. The stink is still below you, but still slowly but absolutely getting stronger. And you step on here and you see 2 gray oozes, which I will move a little closer. I don't want anybody have to like move and wait to hit them. Initiative, please.
I say we ignore them, just head up the stairs.
Oh, they see you, and they can ooze
but
right
they
up
move
the
slower
stairs.
than we do.
They move slower than you do.
I only have to outrun Bori, right?
That's true. Wow, Cadamus with the initiative rolls tonight. Yeah, and you don't... I mean, do you really want to have to turn around and to go, like, sort of go back down to fight them? I mean, you're going to get to the top eventually, and there is something that smells really bad coming up the steps. I'm just saying, if it were me, I'd fight them now.
Well, I don't know.
Did
If they move low enough, they might actually fight what's coming up behind us.
They might. Or they might join it. Anyway, Cadamus.
You know, the best part of being in a sandwich is not between the 2 pieces of bread.
Cadamus
Words of wisdom for sure.
moves up on the ooze. That is going to hit. Gray ooze number 2. I was actually going to give you 3 and then I saw the hit points. And ooze number 2 looks like he is now minus a little bit of his ooziness. That is also going to be a hit because gray oozes have no freaking AC. Yeah. And now the ooze, I mean, it's almost like he looks smaller. It's like you took a big old chunk out of his ooziness. Why did it not roll initiative for these oozes? One of them is blank and the other is minus 1. Okay, so the oozes are going last. I'm not sure why. Oh well. Punchy.
Lulu effects resist nuclear fallout.
Did you miss that when they talked about it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's a cockroach. Yeah, Punchy, your turn.
I'm trying to do. I mean, granted, I may not be the smartest person in the world, but I'm not that bad.
You're no Bori.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 10. Would I don't want to like punch them and then have my fist get eaten away by acid. Do you think I would know enough about gray oozes to know not to do that?
I'll give you 50-50 odds. Roll a d20 and get 11 or higher.
You could roll a percentage.
Or yeah, int check. You know that you are safe from having your fists eaten away by acid.
Okay, good to know. Then I am going to do a double punch. And if I hit, I may do something else.
Okay. Punch that ooze. Words I never thought I'd actually say.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Never mind. Sorry.
Does this mean if you have ooze on your hands that you'll be a halfling monk of the lubricated fist?
Not going there. That is a hit.
Yes. All right. So let me do that. I'm trying to figure out how does flurry of blows work. I don't see my features.
I believe you spend a key point to get 2 additional attacks as a bonus action.
Okay. Yeah. So it is key based. All right. Never mind.
Okay, so that does, oh, wow, only 2 damage? But hey, every little bit helps. Gray ooze number 1 now looks a bit less oozy.
Well, I do get 2 attacks, so I do get.
Oh,
one.
so that's the first attack. He's punching the ooze. I do not know when the oozes will be oozing the punchy. Well, less, because for some reason. 13 is a hit, yes.
Sorry, I have my PHP open, and yeah, it's 1 key point and get 2 unarmed as a bonus.
And Gray ooze number 1 is looking smaller still. I kind of like the idea of, like, as they get damaged, parts of their, ooziness dies off, so they get smaller, kind of like mudmen in DDO.
As a free action, I say, hey, this is like kneading bread.
That was a really bad time for my mic to cut out, because, never mind, I'm just not even going to say what I... Moving on.
Let's face it, Worry thought he said beating meat or something like that, didn't he?
So beating my dad is what I heard.
Oh, that, ew.
Kneading bread.
Kneading bread.
That's why it was like, okay, let's just move along, carry on.
It is Bori's turn.
Oh, okay. A little bit.
Country, and he's another little bit rock and roll? Oh. Sorry, couldn't resist.
No, not a little bit. No. Ew, no. No, definitely not a little bit country. No. Can you imagine Bori in overalls? No, thanks.
That's got to be your next piece of artwork.
Oh, God.
Bori could totally been on hee-haw.
Straw hat with a piece of straw hanging out the mouth?
Yeah.
All right. Internet has spoken. So I'm a little bit tired from going up these stairs, so instead of just huffling over to the ooze, I'm just going to blast him with Sacred Flame.
That is a hit on
and
ooze
do
number
absolutely
2.
nothing. Staying on brand, doing nothing.
Oh, wait. That's a save. Never mind. I'm thinking attack roll. Okay, yeah. And ooze number 2 just kind of oozes around undamaged.
And let's see. Do I have glancing around at everyone? Nope, that's everything.
Hugo.
I'm going to go ahead and hold my action.
Okay. For anything in particular, or just waiting to see what happens next?
No, basically just letting Lottie go first.
Lottie.
I'm going to see what happens with fire.
Burn it with fire.
I'm going to go for number 2.
That is a hit on ooze number 2.
Ooh, that's a relief.
Translation, Hugo wanted to get out of the way of fire.
Well, there is that.
That was partially resisted. Oozes apparently are slightly resistant to fire, at least.
Oh, they're no fun.
But ooze number 2 is still... He's down to a tiny little pile of slime.
But he's still oozing?
He is still oozing, slightly.
Oh, shucks.
Okay, Lulu is squeaking. That brings up...
Lottie kind of is looking at her fingers because she doesn't think they're working right. You know, her fire hand. It might be broken.
Okay, ooze number 1 is going to use its pseudopod, and I don't even know. Let's see, who is it going to attack? I'm trying to see if it's only got a 10 foot speed. Well, it's got to attack either Punchy or Catamus. I'm a nice DM. I try not to kill anybody, so it's gonna attack Punchy because he's slightly less damaged than Catamus. The ooze is going to ooze the Punchy. Oh, that's gonna hit. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh my goodness, this is gonna hurt. Punchy, I hope you've got a lot of hit points.
Heavy damage, yeah.
Yeah, acid. So Punchy is hurting. Punchy is clinging to life.
We got 3 hit points left.
That brings up ooze number 2.
Is it just like get me on the face or something?
Yeah, it's like it like swamped over you with this
Please
wave of acid oozeness.
Please tell me he's doing a screech.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Oh my god! One hand over the face, the other one flailing around in a stop motion going, not the face! Not the
Not in
face!
the face! Not in the face! Ooze number 2.
Actually, the strange thing you hear is it sounds like he says, not again?
Oh god, a dolphin? Oh, not again.
Like a bowl of petunias?
I really don't want to kill anyone off. So ooze number 2 is going to start heading towards Hugo. That does give Catamus an attack of opportunity. Oh, did you want to... Well, actually, no, he didn't.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
So, Catamus, you get an attack of opportunity on ooze number 2. That is a hit. And ooze number 2 sort of evaporates, leaving nothing but sort of like a greasy gray, slowly dissipating cloud in the air. Hugo, do you want to go before Catamus takes his regular turn?
Sure, why not? I'll come up here.
Okay.
And I will
One ooze
cast
left.
I will cast a Cure Wounds on Punchy.
I think Punchy would appreciate that.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so Punchy is in slightly better shape. He's not going to keel over anytime soon. Anything else you would like to do?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Catamus is up, and it is round 2. That's a critical hit. And that ooze is nearly oozeless. Finish him off. That is a hit. I don't know how oozes scream. And that... Where is... I've got too many things on here. Okay, that takes care of ooze number 2. Well, they are 100, so that's 200 XP, so 40 apiece. Oh, don't tell me that. One of my bucket list items is to go into a seafood restaurant and rescue a lobster and take it to the ocean and free it, so don't tell me that.
There's one of my favorite scenes from Julie and Julia, which is a movie about this person who's recreating Julia Child's book.
I read the book, I have not seen the movie.
Well, in the movie they did Lobster Killer to the tune of Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads.
Oh.
Lobster Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? It was amusing. Anywho.
And the oozes don't drop anything really meaningful. I mean, they're semi-transparent. You could see where they had maybe eaten, there was like some bits of that pink stuff in their guts, like all chewed up and gross. So, The smell is bad. It is
It's
coming up.
coming close, huh?
It is coming close, and all of a sudden, Porcus speaks again to Bori. Bori, the hams, they took the hams. My hams are corrupted, Bori. All my hams, you must save my hams.
Who took your hams, oh great Porcus?
Oh, they took my hams! They took my hams!
Now, of course, no one else in the room can hear this, so I'm just basically talking to the wall, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So
So
Suddenly-
standard procedure.
suddenly coming up the steps, and these aren't like monsters that will attack you, but the stench. You're going to take damage from the stench if you stay around it too long. Suddenly,
Ooh.
there are tainted hams everywhere, and they smell terrible.
Are they walking and moving?
They're just kind of rolling up the steps. I mean, they're in such terrible shape at this point, they could almost sprout legs. You know, kind of like when you leave something in, like that pizza Thorgrim was talking about, and you leave it in the fridge too long, and you start thinking that maybe it could walk away on its own. That's kind of where these hams are, and they smell bad.
So this is where Hambies, like this is the primordial soup that Hambies evolved from.
Quite possibly, yes. Bori can hear Porcus's voice, and he said, "He cursed my hams. Save my hams. There's no more hams."
Hey, I turned to our. I turned to our cleric and I say, "Do you have purify food and drink?"
I do, actually.
You can try that.
Where is it? Purify food and drink is a domain spell that I can cast. So, yeah, as the ham floats on by, I just kind of like to reach the warhammer out and poke it with the ham-shaped warhammer and channel a purify food and drink through into it.
Well, here's the problem. Keep in mind this is a holiday episode. I'm just telling you that because if you think about it, you may be able to figure out who is actually cursing these hams. This curse was put on those hams by a very, 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 very powerful wizard. Or warlock or magic user of some sort. It is far beyond a level 3 cleric's ability to remove this particular curse.
I blame the wizard RB.
Groundhog Day, Catamus, okay? I said
I-
holiday episode, you know, we had Christmas, we had Boxing Day, we had New Year's, President's Day, Valentine's Day, Groundhog Day, whatever holiday you so desire.
There's lots of holidays. May I make a religion check to see if I can identify which being would curse my beloved Porcus's hams?
Ooh, you can. Yeah, I think I'm ready to reveal that now. We're sitting at 11:30, and I would love to wrap it up tonight. Oh, yeah, that would have done it anyway. And Bori makes a religion. He looks at the ham, he makes a religion check, and suddenly, whoops, wrong one.
By the way, ever since you revealed that, I've had tainted love in my head.
I know.
Tainted
Suddenly,
ham.
tainted ham. Yes, Bori, let me take a point of psychic damage off of Bori. Ooh, Bori, you might need some healing pretty soon. And Bori suddenly has a vision. I don't see any way to share it with just Bori, so I'm assuming he's going to tell you all. And you realize who has cursed the hams.
Oh no, it's poor Krampus.
So clearly, is it Krampus or Krampus? I've heard people call. I always said Krampus, but I hear people call him different things.
I think Krampus is what happens every 28 days.
I had just taken a large swig of iced tea. I almost lost it. Anyway, so now you know who has cursed the hams because apparently he and Porcus, and let me credit for the Porcus drawing goes to Thulgrin.
Unfortunately.
So apparently Krampus and Porcus, yeah, I think your Porcus is actually better than my Krampus. So apparently they are feuding. And Krampus has stolen all of the ham. And he has tainted it. You guys don't know what the heck to do about that.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
I keep in mind how extremely, extremely bad this ham smells. I'm being really nice since most of you are at least slightly wounded. I'm being really nice not making you roll a con save or a fort save or whatever to avoid damage because this smells so bad, not even Bori wants to lick it. So, but see, I'm not making you do that. Keep in mind, you also have a very weak stomach. So.
Sir Cadmus the Queasy with heightened senses.
Oh, there's one piece of art I do not have here. Oh, yes, I do. Suddenly, that does not look like the original one I used. Why not? Oh well. Suddenly, someone familiar appears out of thin air.
Yak yak!
Hi guys! Yik Yak come to save you! Yik Yak have kobold magic. Yik Yak can fix ham. But Yik Yak has to know what... Yik Yak can't remember what ham's supposed to look like. Yik Yak needs to be able to picture ham to be able to fix the ham.
Oh, God.
Can you show him your hammer there, Bori? Looks like this.
No.
Believe in ham.
And Yik Yak looks at Bori. Yik Yak comes up the steps, and he's a little put off by Lulu, and he wants to kind of stay close to the steps, so he comes over here to Bori. And he hands Bori a little satchel.
Okay, Bori opens the satchel.
I should have added these items. In the satchel, Bori finds a black negligee. A very skimpy black negligee. He also finds a large curly wig and some paper and some paints. What you gonna do, Bori? You know what you need to do.
Bori would not be worried about this in any way, shape, or form. Thulgrin, on the other hand, is, because I know it's about to come up here.
Okay, you paint... Don't want to get this paint on armor. We'll eat away armor. So, gotta take off armor, but can't be naked because, Yik Yak eyes. So here, you put on this little dress here. And then here, you paint ham, and then Yik Yak fix ham.
Okay, so Bori is going to very carefully get changed into the little black dress and then start painting what ham is supposed to look like on the what their kobold pointed.
Here we have Bori in lingerie. You're welcome.
You did this to me, Internet.
You should know better than to bring this stuff up on Twitter. I told you it was going to work its way in here eventually.
Okay, for those watching at home, what started this was a picture of the dress and a hashtag saying, draw your original character in this, to which I thought was a gag saying, sure, why not?
Yik Yak is kind of covering his eyes. And the rose is just kind of in there as a nice touch.
The rose is just for fun.
Sadly, I couldn't tell Bori to do a sketch of himself as a painter in this outfit without giving away too much about what was going to happen.
No, you totally did. You
Draw
totally
himself
told me
as
to do it.
one of his French dwarfs.
In one of the DMs.
Yeah, but I mean, so like this next picture is unfortunately not going to have Bori in lingerie. But it is showing Bori. He's going to. What are you going to do with the wig? Because you're going to want to cover your hair. You don't want to get this paint in your hair.
Oh yeah, gotta put the wig on too. Gotta put the wig on. I just realized this lingerie must be magical because it actually stretched to fit him.
Well, it came from Yik Yak with his powerful kobold magic. So yes, it is highly magical.
That's true, kobold magic.
Bori looks 10 pounds lighter.
Whoops.
I could just cast minor illusion and have a perfectly good ham show up.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
No, you couldn't. Flat out.
Not when Bori can be wearing Spanx, you can't.
Okay, so
Oh,
Bori.
God.
The picture
You
is
cut
of
the
it.
taco off.
I just fixed it.
Oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yep.
So here is Bobry Ross instead of Bori Ross. And, I mean, he kind of can't... Notice he is going for the pink paint because he is about to paint over that taco by painting ham. Yeah, if you wanted to cast... Yeah, that's it. Hugo has cast minor illusion to make Bori appear to be fully clothed because your eyes just couldn't take it anymore. So, Bori paints and Yik Yak watches. Whoops. And suddenly, what did I call this? Suddenly, a painting emerges that is an actual ham.
A painting?
Yes.
A ham actually emerges from the painting?
Well, no, a painting of ham actually emerges from Bori painting.
Okay.
But Yik Yak looks at the painting and he's like, "Okay, Yik Yak, fix ham for you." And he waves his kobold arms around. He goes, "Abracadabra, flippity, flippity, yuck, 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 yuck." And suddenly, the tainted ham is all normal and no longer stinks.
Yay!
Oh, that's actually a good idea. I could have, let me find that. There. Bori has painted a ham.
Nice.
So the ham...
Now, who's this for?
That is all of Porcus's... Krampus took all of Porcus's ham and tainted it. Tainted ham. Ooh. Yeah, whatever. And, this is Bori's deity. And I'm not sure whether I'm talking about Porcus or the ham when I say that, but anyway, tainted ham, bad news for Bori. And I mean, Krampus tainted all the ham.
True.
So you have saved the ham. Unfortunately, that tainted ham coming up the steps, these stairs have crumbled away behind you. And you can't get back down.
Maybe this is a bad time to mention this. Punchy the Tall Folk says. You guys know I'm a vegetarian.
You're saying, well, some of it is tofu ham.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell Porcus. And you know,
Somebody is tofu.
you're just helping your friend, you know, serve his deity. Yik Yak says, "Up, gotta go," and disappears. So there's basically nowhere to go but up. I mean, there are tiny, tiny, tiny little windows in here, but not even Lottie could squeeze through them. They're itty bitty tiny windows.
Up we go. And
Up
maybe
you
there'll
go.
be vegetables up that.
I actually hadn't thought of that.
You know, as long as they're not killer tomatoes, that'd be fine.
Hey, I asked for you. Does Porcus like vegetables?
Porcus likes pretty much anything, yeah. As long as they're, having some chow with it, it doesn't really matter.
And I turn
Imagine
to
parcel that out.
Lottie and say, "Does Lulu eat?"
Does Lulu eat meat?
Yes.
Lulu eats everything.
Lulu's a cockroach. So you are on the very top part of the tower. Now you have windows, but you are like hundreds of feet above the ground. All of the stairs have pretty much crumbled behind you, except for the ones you just came up, which it wouldn't do you any good to go back down because all the stairs below them are crumbled, and you know the floor is falling out in big bit from all this ham kind of. There's basically nothing but a lot of hollowness below you because these, you know, the disgustingness of the hams kind of ate all this stuff away.
So it's a tainted ham apocalypse.
It is indeed. Do I have... I don't think I do have pogs for these. Of course I don't. Well, I'm going to use bears. But these are actually gorillas. And there's like a lot of them. So just pretend these are gorillas. You can't bear to see substitution pogs? Ha.
I remember making substitution pogs back in elementary school.
Ha. So just imagine that all of these bears actually look like this, which I never did get around to coloring. And these things are huge. I mean, the pogs are the little tokens, unfortunately, only take up 1 square. But, man, these things are humongous.
If I remember correctly, last session you said they were like 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
So we are undeniably sandwiched locker room style.
Actually,
in a
let me
crowd
take these
of...
off because I have something else I can do here. Because, you know, stupid me. Forgot about the combat tracker, which makes things a little bit easier. They're still not going to look like... Yeah, it'll be better than nothing. Okay. Actually, I think I had to put them in as baboons because there were no gorillas listed, but they're actually gorillas. Not that it really super matters. The end result is going to be the same.
Oh yeah, Cadamus, I bet you're really regretting that keen sense of smell right now, ain't you?
They actually don't smell bad. And you've noted they're all carrying those weird pink balls. And they seem to be gesturing at you. Also, I'm trying to pull up... There we go. Oh no, I need better than that.
Lottie gestures back. She's used to people gesturing at her for whatever reason.
Tori looks at Lottie, looks at the gorillas, looks at Lottie, and kind of like does the head nod like, go do your thing.
Cadmus wants to know if these are the gorillas of our dreams.
Actually, I can change it so it says these actually are gorillas. Look what
And Cadamus, don't forget, It's not Valentine's Day today. It's Galentine's Day.
That makes me think of like the pitcher of iced tea.
I'm just going to edit these real quick and make them gorillas, and also, because I forgot to do this earlier, I don't
Your
wanna wake
life pet is saying words in Twitch chat.
It's tomorrow more than half the word. Yeah, whatever. So what I'm doing, you guys can't see it since you can't see Twitch chat, or since you can't see the screen, I am basically changing all of these baboons to gorillas because I just realized that I could do that.
Yep, it's happening. It's Gorilla 1B, Gorilla 5B, Gorilla 4B.
Yeah, I should have made it G, but
Whatever. Whatever. To Eddie Munster or not to Eddie Munster.
yeah, you should be seeing it as I'm changing each one. I wish I could change them all in one fell swoop, but I can't. Yeah. Two to go. The B stands for big. How's that? Big gorilla.
Yeah, that was gonna be bananas.
These girls are actually not eating bananas.
Was the pineapple theirs?
No, the pineapple, I don't know how other people cook pineapples. The people in my family always stud it with pineapples and cloves.
It makes
So that was kind of a
really
hint.
good. Yeah, I picked up on that. It makes a really good hand glaze. It really does.
Okay.
I can do without the clothes, but yeah.
So here are all these girls. They're all visible, right? You see 6 of them?
Correct.
Yes.
What would you like to do? You are stuck. You are at the very top of this tower with no apparent way down. And there's all these. Now there's a bunch of windows, but it would certainly be fatal if you just jumped out of them. I mean, and you know, even if you took all of your ropes and tied them together, they would not reach the ground. You're like way high up in the air. So you
I
see,
know somebody had featherfall, but I don't think anybody does. I know I don't.
I don't remember anyone having featherfall.
Bori will
I have
frantically look
featherfall.
knowingly look between Lottie and Hugo and kind of nudge over the shoulder like, there's no gorillas in the Church of Porcus, so I don't know what these fuckers want.
They're
Lottie
just grinning
does
at you.
have featherfall.
If I
Well,
recall,
damn, Lottie!
Five creatures with that?
5 creatures. Lulu would have to do a ride along, and Tangerine would be out of luck.
Okay.
Unless you
This is
bury
a
her.
magic-free zone. You can't cast featherfall.
But we don't know that yet until the spell fails.
That's true.
We pretty much have to jump first because it's a reaction anyways, but
And plus, I don't want you to do that because I want you to... This actually came from a dream I had, and I thought, how can I work that into a dungeon? And this is how. So they're just looking at you, and they're they don't seem to be able to speak, but they're grunting at you.
Lottie grunts back.
And one of them steps here in front of Lulu, in front of Lottie. Oh, if Lottie ran back, anyway, he's going to stand here in front of the group, and he thumps on his chest, and he points to the window, and he pretends he's throwing something.
Lottie's just mirroring them at this point. She's used to people like reacting to whatever she's doing and making gestures and to to express how they feel about it, and she's just mirroring it because she didn't know what else to do.
Or he throws his crossbow out the window.
See, the windows are actually solid glass, and it's like 6 inches thick.
Okay, so Bori throws his crossbow at the window and it bounces off and clatters noisily to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, you would need to throw something really heavy. Heavier even than Bori through one of those windows.
Like the things they're carrying?
No, they're carrying these little pink balls. That's all they've got. And they're
But
pretty lightweight.
They're not... I'm going to point to one of those little pink balls and try to do the universal gesture of give it to me. Point, give it to me.
The gorilla looks at you, shakes his head. He holds the pink ball up to his mouth, points to his mouth, nods his head, and points again to the window.
I'm going to bring my bagpipes to my mouth in a gesture of universal support for me.
The gorillas begin to dance. They like this. And suddenly, and I'm going to have to give you a hint here, a better hint here, because like I said, this came from a dream and there's no way anybody in their right mind would ever guess this. All of a sudden, Bori, you hear Porcus's voice in your head and he's going, Bori, defenestrate, defenestrate.
I thought I just did that, or tried to. Is there an open window?
Nope. They are solid sheets of 6-inch glass.
Want to try shooting the fenster?
Want to try who?
Shoot the glass.
You can try.
I don't have anything to shoot with. Yeah. Bori's got the crossbow, or had the crossbow.
And he's also got a quiver full of gravy. I'm going to give you a gimme. Shooting gravy at the windows will not break them.
Like Cadmus suggests, can we look at the window and see if there's any perceptible way to open it?
You can look. I will tell you, I'm not even going to make you do a check. The windows cannot be opened. Porca, boy, defenestrate, big, 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 big.
Bori takes a point of psychic damage because he has to figure out what the word defenestrate means.
If anyone wants to explain to Bori what defenestrate means, that's fine. And your point of psychic damage is taken.
Yeah, a window is also known as fenestration, so defenestrate would be somehow to open or break the window, I would imagine.
Defenestrate technically is to eject or forcefully throw something from a window, preferably above the first floor.
Well, you're gonna need to defenestrate something. Something big.
He said something big. I think we need to throw a monkey out the window.
And suddenly, all of the gorillas start bobbing their... When Bori says we're going to have to throw a monkey out, all of a sudden, all the gorillas break into big smiles and high-five each other and sort of gently high-five you because if, they did it with full force, they'd crush you and bob their heads excitedly. And they hold up their pink balls and nod some more.
Wait, was Bori in lingerie when you had this dream?
Bori was not even in this dream. This was a totally separate dream, but I wanted to find a way.
Good,
I wanted to find a. Although, man, I may not sleep tonight.
Okay.
So now it's probably going to take like 2 or 3 of you to pitch one of them through the window.
Who's our strongest?
Hell,
I could do it. I mean, I could help.
Yeah, I mean, they weigh a lot. But I'm not even going to make you roll for it. The fact that you figured it out with a few hints. So, several of you, let's pick up this guy who's nearest this window, and you pitch him out, and as you throw him out the window, he pops the pink balls in his mouth and starts chewing, and he blows an enormous bubble and floats gently to the ground. And there...
into a balloon?
No, it's bubble gum.
Oh.
That wasn't part of the dream, Catamus, so no, you've got to throw them through. So you throw these gorillas through, you notice you're throwing them through and they're sort of angling themselves so they're all stacked up in this nice, big, soft pile. And of course now, this window in here is broken and there's a large, soft pile of gorillas on the ground.
That's a phrase I don't think I've ever heard. A large, soft pile of gorillas.
On the ground. Catamus yells, Geronimo, and leaps. Wow, Hugo.
I was rolling percentage dice to see if I was actually going to push Bori out the window, and with that roll, yeah, I would have.
Bye, Bori.
Oh, see, I was going to wait until everyone else got out of the way. You know, you let the iron cannonball, go down after everyone else is cleared. Although I'm not an iron cannonball right now, I'm in lingerie.
Well, though it's a good test. If you survive, then I'll probably be fine.
So Catamus and Bori, fortunately Bori, being heavier than Catamus, falls a little faster so that he doesn't land. Yes, so that he doesn't land on Catamus. You see Bori hit first, and then Catamus, and they kind of, sink into all this nice soft pile of girls and bounce a few times, and then come to rest completely unharmed.
I should have had Lulu ride along with Bori.
So I did not create a gorilla crater. That's good.
You did not. And the gorillas are smiling and giving you thumbs up.
Cowabunga, dude.
Hugo leaps, lands on a gorilla, bounces a few times. It's like, okay, it's cool.
Wait, it just now registers? That means Hugo put his hands on the dwarf in lingerie.
Indeed.
I'm gonna hold on a second here, just for that. this goes both ways. There, Tomic. We're gonna sit there and see if Bori takes that as a sign of affection. Luckily, he does not.
I will tell you, Hugo.
You didn't really see who does it, so I can point to.
Yeah, that's true. He snuck up behind you. I will warn you.
Pushing in the air tonight.
Hugo, before you, now that you're at the bottom, you've noticed that like windy, narrow little steep trail that you came up to get there. Apparently, there's been some kind of an accident, and it's crumbled away, much like the stairs. Maybe maybe the ham came up it, but you are now perched on this little cliff high in the air, waiting for Punchy and Lottie and Lulu to make their way down.
I'm a little afraid of heights and falling on girls, so I'm kind of peering over the edge, and I'm trying to be brave. I'm not trying to look good, but I'm kind of afraid.
So do you close your eyes and say, Lulu, if you wouldn't mind, just push me?
Or does Lulu just think, get with the program already. I'm not a very patient person. And because I don't see Lulu as being patient. Or Lottie as being patient.
I do just sort of hang by the window for an awful long time there, Lottie.
Well, like Lulu's climbed up on top of the tippy top of Lottie's ponytail. And Lottie, seeing that the other people have gone and they haven't splatted or died, she runs to the window and leaps out. And as they're falling, Lulu's little cockroach wings flutter like she's trying to actually add to their loft, as if that's going to make any difference, but it doesn't make any difference at all.
Do you grab or push Punchy on the way, or do you just run past him?
I rode past him.
Okay. So, Punchy, you can look down. I mean, the air is clear enough. I'm guessing you have pretty good eyesight. You can see everybody is just kind of lounging down there, bouncing around on these big soft gorillas. Whoops. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to. There's. And I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of moving out of the way enough so that if Punchy jumps, he's not going to land on any of you. Although he's a halfling monk, he probably wouldn't. He definitely wouldn't damage Bori. He probably wouldn't damage much of anybody except maybe
He
Lulu.
might damage my new outfit, though.
he might. So, Punchy, it's all up to you. And as you're standing there debating, you hear the tower start to creak. And some of the stones on the floor start, I mean, the damage from those hams was extensive. And it's feeling like the tower might crumble right beneath your very feet. I also totally should have done a color picture of the gorilla with a big pink bubble in his mouth.
Quick, who's got a mend spell?
A what?
Mend?
Mend spell. It'll fix up to 1 foot of breakage.
Yes, but you're all down at the bottom.
Yes, I know.
A lot of your repair is nothing. She only destroys.
Would
it help if we cast spells at the tower and made it fall faster, and that might make Punchy jump faster?
Actually, suddenly, the biggest gorilla blows a fresh bubble, leaps into the air, catches a draft, and lands up on the tower with Punchy. The tower starts to crumble away, but he grabs Punchy, and the two of them gently float to the ground, with Punchy's eyes, I'm sure, securely covered.
Screaming like a little girl.
You had Nectarine by the leash.
Poor Nectarine just got like reverse lynched going downwards.
I wouldn't. No, Nectarine made it safely. I mean, especially when the tower. If you didn't actually grab Nectarine, I'm sure when the tower started to shake, Nectarine's like, yeah, I'm jumping.
I'm sure Nectarine looked kind of Looney Tunes as she fell with all of her fur kind of floating upward.
So you guys are sitting down here. You're on the edge. There's just nothing but cliff everywhere. Until suddenly, guess who's back? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
I was gonna say, where's Yik Yak when you need him?
Right there. Good, ESPness. Yik Yak says,
What?
oh! I forgot! Yik Yak can't open portal that high up in air, 'cause Yik Yak a little afraid of heights. It was bad enough Yik Yak got all the way up there. But here, Yik Yak opened portal for you. Take you back Beggar's Hole. Yik Yak opens the portal, and you find yourselves transported back to the charming village of Beggar's Hole, which I'm not going to show you the picture because it actually is now a much more charming village thanks to you. You are safely back in Beggar's Hole.
Yay!
And you have saved the hams, both tofu hams. Some of them are hams, some of them are tofu hams, some of them are cauliflower hams. And you have completed.
I never had a cauliflower ham.
Actually, cauliflower takes on the flavor of whatever you can make cauliflower taste like just about anything.
Oh, I know, but Bori doesn't.
That's true. So you are.
Except for cauliflower or quinoa, that's a little weird.
I actually really like quinoa, so that sounds good. You are, and look at our timing. We're just like barely past midnight. You are safely back in the charming village of Beggar's Hole. You're probably standing, I'm guessing you're standing in front of Skonk's mansion.
Well, you're the DM. We would be asking you.
Yeah, you're
What?
standing. I
we
would.
don't get to sell our polar bear eyelashes back to the
You
store
can
owner?
go back.
Oh, you'll be going back. So you are standing here in front of Gonk's mansion, and I'm thinking that you all need a long rest.
I think we need some pink balls too.
Well, when you land in front of Gonk's mansion, you discover that the gorillas have actually stuffed into your pockets, let's say 4 pink balls apiece.
Ooh.
Ooh! Now we just gotta learn how to use them right, like a gorilla.
Yeah, I think you're just eating.
And actually, they're pieces of bubble gum. Well, we'll call them gumballs. So you now have 20 bubblegum. Well, let's make it 25. Oh wait, 30. I'm forgetting Lulu, and I'm forgetting one of you two apparently. So 30 bubblegum balls.
Well, Lulu doesn't really count for
Okay, 25.
gumballs.
So you've got 25 bubblegum balls, and for managing, you now have stuffed gorilla balls in your pockets. And you know what? Everybody take an extra 100 XP for figuring that out. Because I really thought I was going to have to give you a lot more hints than that.
Well, I picked it up on the first defenestrate, but Bori wouldn't.
Oh, that's true. That's a good way to stay in character.
Until he just got beaten repeatedly by the demon lord. Like, you idiot. You idiot, you know.
So, you made it! You made it! Adventurers beat the odds! Adventurers come back! Yik Yak says excitedly.
And to Cadmus's credit, he did pick it up as soon as they said, yeah, bigger than Bori. Okay, well, wow.
Yeah, and there was really only one thing in that tower bigger than Bori. So, next week, 2 weeks from now, we'll have a whole new adventure to start. Yeah, adventurers eat fresh rat gumballs tonight. 2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, February 27th, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Kobold Kindergarten will be back here, and we will be starting a brand new adventure.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, this one we've had dwarves in lingerie painting things. We've had balls. We've had we've had a lot of things that should not ever be seen and will never be able to be unseen. Just the way we like it. I will be back. Probably the next time I stream will be Sunday night on twitch.tv/DDOstream. I will be there at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, running the Sunless Citadel with this fine group of people. And then again at 11, playing some DDO. And the next show that's going to be actually on my channel, twitch.tv/DDO_even, will be Monday night, 10:30, playing some Minecraft. Anybody want to plug a Twitter or anything or Twitch or anything like that before we sign off for the night?
If you like tabletop stuff, you can check out D&D Night on DDO Stream. A lot of us are involved in that as well, and that's over on twitch.tv/DDO Stream Sundays.
Yep, that is what I am. I will be DMing again this Sunday for D&D Night, running the Sunless Citadel with this exact group of people, except Lottie. And they'll all be playing different characters, but still.
Well, no, Bonnie's in it. She's a Quebec.
Well, except Lulu. I get Lottie and Lulu's names mixed up. Lulu will not be there.
I do that flipping constantly, to be honest.
Same,
I'm terrible.
all the same players, different player characters.
Bonnie, next time you just need to play a cockroach. That's what needs to happen. You just need to play a cockroach that like casts spells.
Oh, better yet, a were-cockroach.
Yes.
No. I've got an idea about that with
You should have
the
included
were
that in your
squitting.
poll
Did y'all see my post about the were squitting?
Yes.
I never did find a way to work squittins in yet, so I'm thinking for the next adventure, I've sort of got like a very basic outline going, but I'm thinking for the next one I've got to find a way to work squittins in there.
If
If
you're
I
bitten
hadn't
by a
already had the
were-squitten-
bubblegum idea, I was going to have a bunch of squittens show up and you were going to tie their tentacles together until you had enough of them to safely climb down the tower, but I already had the bubblegum balls. So,
If you're bitten by a were-squitten, can you become a were-squitten?
I would say you
Of
become
course.
you do, but it's infected lycanthropy, which means you don't control whether you become cat, squid, or squitten.
Oh, that might mean bad things for
That could be
Lottie
very
and
bad
Blue
things.
relationship.
That could be
I would
very bad.
imagine during an actual full moon you'd be a squid, but during a waxing or waning moon you might be one or the other.
this is true.
Good point. That's a very good point.
Anyway, tune in next time for squittens and who knows what else. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a great night.
Am I still in lingerie?
And I keep playing the wrong video.